Distinguished guests, if you are able, would you please be upstanding? The Right Honourable Dame Cindy Kera, Governor-General of New Zealand, and Dr. Richard Davis.
Ko te amorangi ki mua ko te hāpai o ki muri. Kia tau I hōna mana ki tanga ki runga ki tēnā o tātou. He hōnore he kroria he mau ngārongo ki runga ki te matua te whenua he whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Aro haena ngā teina me ngā tuakana e noho nei rungi te whakaaro ko tahi pai mariri.
Please be seated. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā iwi o ngā hau e whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki o koutou, nau mai, hara mai, ki tō whare kei konei. Kia ora mai tātou katoa. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Christchurch Town Hall for today's investiture ceremony. I'd like to specifically acknowledge the Honourable Penny Simmons, Minister of the Crown, Russell Wood, National Commander, and Brad Mosby, Regional Manager for Te Uhu, Fire and Emergency New Zealand. Mr Joe Haruwira, our kaumātua, and Mrs Rānui Ngārimu, our kuia, and kia koe hoki e tā tipene I tō mana kei konei te korowai. Kia ora. Hosting investiture ceremonies is one of the most important duties I perform on behalf of His Majesty, the King of New Zealand. I'm delighted to bring together such an extraordinary group of New Zealanders. You have each brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to Aotearoa through your outstanding achievements and your service to our communities. On behalf of all New Zealanders, I extend my sincerest thanks to you for your contributions. After each recipient is honoured, I will invite you to join with me in congratulating them. Ms. Catriona McLeod will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Dr. Vanessa Beavis of Auckland, for services to anaesthesia. Dr. Vanessa Beavis held clinical leadership roles at Auckland City Hospital, including Director of Peri-Operative Services. She helped establish an anaesthesia service in Auckland to facilitate New Zealand-based access for people requiring a liver transplant. She's a Fellow of the Australian and New Zealand College of Anaesthetists, or ANZCA, and was a member of the college's examining body. She chaired the New Zealand National Committee of ANZCA. She has undertaken a range of roles, including President with the ANZCA Council. She has promoted the importance of te tiriti within ANZCA. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she led ANZCA to continue delivering examinations and training. Dr. Beavis is inaugural Executive Committee Chair of the International Academy of Medical Colleges of Anesthesiologists, which she helped develop and launch. Dr. Vanessa Beavers, please come forward. Professor Graham Bidder of Altrincham, United Kingdom, for services to medical imaging. Professor Graham Bidder has made fundamental contributions to medical imaging and magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI. Most of the techniques used in modern clinical MR examinations of the brain were first described by him and his team. He developed the fluid attenuated inversion recovery, or FLAIR, sequence, which is currently included in most clinical MRI examinations of the brain. He co-developed the short inversion time inversion recovery, or STIR, sequence, which suppresses fat signals and shows injuries, inflammation, infection, and tumors in bones, muscles, ligaments, and tendons with high contrast. With others, he recently developed an MRI technique which improves the contrast shown on MR images 10 to 15 times. Professor Bidder has published hundreds of peer-reviewed papers and is a member of the Scientific Advisory Board of the Matai Medical Research Institute. Professor Graham Bidder, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Dr. Hannah O'Regan of Christchurch, for services to education. Dr. Hannah O'Regan, kai tahu, ka te mamoe Waitaha, has held positions at Te Runanga o Ngāi Tahu as Manager of the Māori Language Unit, General Manager of Oraka Wellbeing, and a founder of the Language Revitalisation Strategy. She worked at Ara Te Pukenga as a lecturer, head of Māori Department, and Director of Māori and Pacific and Student Services. She was a lecturer at the University of Otago and a member of the New Zealand Qualification Authority's Māori Advisory Board. She is CEO of Tātai Ahorau Core Education and has campaigned to end streaming in education in New Zealand. Dr. O'Regan was a New Zealand Fellow of the International Centre of Language Revitalisation and a member of the Mātauranga Iwi Leaders Group for the National Iwi Leaders Chairs Forum. Dr. Hannah O'Regan, please come forward. Mr. Lance Wishman of Blenheim for services to the seafood industry and marine conservation. Lance Wishman is a former director of the New Zealand Rock Lobster Industry Council and current chair of Te Korowhai Kaikoura Marine Guardians. He played a pivotal role in the establishment of the Burkhart Fisheries in Ward, which has become one of the largest rock lobster exporters in the Southern Hemisphere. He was an elected representative for the Canterbury-Marlborough region of the New Zealand Rock Lobster Industry Council. He was executive officer of the Canterbury-Marlborough Rock Lobster Industry Association for 26 years, pioneering the use of modern technology to maintain healthy rock lobster stock levels. Mr. Wishman was a founding member and chair of Te Korowhai o Te Tai o Marukura Kaikoura Marine Guardians, an advisory body that advocates for marine management strategies incorporating Kaikoura's customary coastal values. Mr. Lance Wishman, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Dr. Hafsa Ahmed of Lincoln for services to ethnic communities and women. Dr. Hafsa Ahmed is co-founder and trustee of Lady Khadija Charitable Trust, which works to support vulnerable groups and achieve social cohesion in the community through media projects such as broadcast program Open Table, Together in Humanity, and the video documentary series Immigrant Journeys. Dr. Ahmed is chair of Canterbury Interfaith Society and a trustee on the board of Ako Ototahi Learning City Christchurch. She has been an active presenter and contributor to the Ministry for Ethnic Communities Women to Women project in Christchurch. Dr. Ahmed has supported the empowerment of ethnic women and the recovery within the Muslim community following the 2019 Christchurch terror attack. Dr. Hafsa Ahmed, please come forward. Mr. Simon Challies of Christchurch for services to people with neurological conditions. Simon Challies was chief executive of Ryman Healthcare until his diagnosis with Parkinson's disease, aged 41. He helped establish the Canterbury Brain Collective Limited, or Braintree, a charity supporting people living with neurological conditions, and is its executive director. He led a campaign to open the Braintree Wellness Centre in Christchurch, offering innovative therapy and support. He co-founded Braveheart Christchurch, an enterprise which created 3-minute videos sharing good news stories about Cantabrians. He was director and deputy chair of Kilmarnock Enterprises Limited, a community initiative providing employment opportunities and support for those living with intellectual disabilities. Mr. Challies is Director of Airborne Honey Limited and Nutrient Rescue New Zealand Limited. Mr. Simon Challies, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Ms. Victoria Andrews of Akaroa for services to heritage preservation and conservation. Victoria Andrews is Deputy Chair and former Secretary of the Akaroa Civic Trust. She contributed to the region's recognitions as historic area by Heritage New Zealand. She led a campaign for the establishment of Takapuneke as a historic reserve, an area of tapu land which holds significant historical importance to Onuku Runanga and their hapu, Ngāti Irakehu and Ngāi Tawera. She has since made a significant contribution to the development of the reserve's management plan. Ms. Andrews was the Civic Trust's representative on the Akaroa Design and Appearance Advisory Committee and sits on the Akaroa Design Review Panel. Ms. Victoria Andrews, please come forward. Mrs. Judith Johnson of Timaru for services as a Justice of the Peace. Judith Johnson volunteered as a Judicial Justice of the Peace for more than 4 decades. She presided over traffic court, deposition hearings and remands when resident judges were unavailable and issued search warrants and production orders. She wrote a manual for the Timaru District Court Traffic Court and served as acting coroner and court rosterer. A valued mentor to younger JPs, she's held leadership roles on the South Canterbury JP Association, including president. She was on the organising committee for 3 Justices Association conferences in Timaru. Mrs. Johnson continues her community work through the Altrusa and Probus organisations. Mrs. Judith Johnson, please come forward. Mr. Harry Paina of Runanga for services to Fire and Emergency New Zealand and the community. Harry Paina was a member of the Runanga Volunteer Fire Brigade for more than 50 years, including time as station officer. He was a long-serving volunteer St. John ambulance officer. He has provided fire safety advice and support to local communities. He has supported the waterway competition teams and the brigade's local cadets program. He houses and has helped restore and maintain the brigade's vintage 1927 Dennis fire appliance. He was divisional manager in Runanga. Mr. Paina was a youth club leader at Runanga Hall and a member of the Runanga Miners Hall Committee and Runanga Ratepayers Association. Mr. Harry Paina, please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
New Zealand's honours system is our highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces those things that make our society better: service, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. To our recipients, it has been a privilege to hear your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives of fellow New Zealanders. In doing so, you embody the spirit of the whakatauki, whaia te iti kahurangi, ki te tū ohu koe me he maunga teitei. Seek the treasure that you value most dearly. If you bow your head, let it be to a lofty mountain. I urge recipients to wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that you inspire others by doing so. On behalf of the King of New Zealand, and indeed all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements, and I thank you once again for your service to our country. Kia ora, hohi mai nei I tēnei rā. Now you will see on the back of your program the words to the national anthem in te reo Māori and in English. I now invite you to stand with me and join in singing the anthem.